As a brain specialist with over 40 years of experience studying the human mind, I made a discovery that completely changed the way I understand aging. Most people think the body simply gets old, but once you cross a certain age, something far more profound begins to happen. If you're 75 or older, or someone you love is approaching 80, give this video a like so I know you're here with me. Because what I'm about to share is rarely discussed, even though it affects nearly every senior in America. For decades, the medical community has overlooked the fact that around age 80, the body doesn't just decline, it reorganizes. It begins activating 5 major biological shifts that almost no one is warned about. And according to recent studies, more than 80% of seniors have no idea these changes are happening. Before I continue, pause this video and comment your age below. I want to see exactly who's watching, because this information could help you or someone you love avoid years of unnecessary suffering. Don't take another supplement. Don't schedule another medical test. And don't assume the changes you're noticing are just aging. Not until you hear what happened to Margaret from Phoenix. Across my career, I've consulted on thousands of neurological cases from Seattle to Miami, and I kept seeing the same pattern in patients over 80. Their bodies weren't failing randomly. They were following a predictable biological sequence, almost like a hidden survival program activating at a precise point in time. And what's even more surprising is what happens in the brain. One of these biological shifts, something I call switch number 3, begins quietly affecting your cognition long before you notice symptoms. Yet fewer than 2% of seniors know it's happening. This isn't rare, it's universal. Research from leading aging institutes shows that once you reach your late 70s and early 80s, your muscles, taste buds, skin, brain, and even your sleep cycles begin operating under completely new rules. It doesn't matter if you're a marathon runner, a vegetarian, or someone who followed every medical guideline their whole life. Your biology changes direction. Think about that for a moment. Your body isn't falling apart. It's shifting its priorities. It chooses survival over performance, and most doctors never explain this to their patients. That's what frustrated me most during my 4 decades in medicine. People are told that aging is a slow decline, but that's only half the story. Aging after 80 is a strategic reprogramming happening inside every cell. And your window to understand and respond to these changes is smaller than you think. By age 82, many of these shifts become significantly harder to influence. Some of these changes actually help protect you. Others accelerate the very problems seniors fear most: weakness, exhaustion, forgetfulness, and declining appetite. If you want me to break down each of these changes and explain what you can do about them, hit the subscribe button now so you don't miss the next video. Now, let me tell you about Margaret. Margaret was 82 when her daughter brought her to my clinic in Arizona. She had been a chef for decades, award-winning, passionate, full of life. She raised 6 children, and her cooking brought entire communities together. But when she sat in my office, she told me something that broke my heart. "Doctor, I can't taste my own recipes anymore. They have no flavor. I thought I was losing my mind. Let me ask you a quick test right now. Can you taste all 5 basic flavors? Sweet, salty, sour, bitter, and umami? Think about the last meal you had. Meal. Comment taste if you noticed any flavors were weaker than usual. ... I ran every test you can imagine. Her blood work was perfect. No diabetes, no infections, no medications that would affect taste. But when we tested her taste sensitivity, She could only distinguish between 2 of the 5 basic flavors. But wait until you see what happened when we discovered the real reason behind her taste loss and how it connects to the deadly mistake dots. That's when I realized how many American seniors are suffering in silence, thinking they're broken, when actually their bodies are following a predictable biological script. What I'm about to reveal is known by less than 3% of American seniors, and it's information the medical establishment rarely discusses openly. Over the next 15 minutes, I'm going to walk you through all 5 transformations that happen once you turn 80. The ones no blood test can predict and no doctor's visit can prevent. But I need you to stay until the very end, because transformation number 3 will shock you. Before we dive deep, tell me in the comments, have you started noticing changes that your doctor can't explain? My team and I read every single story personally, and we reply to each one. It's something happening inside your brain right now that can quietly determine not just how long you'll live, but how clearly you'll think and how peacefully you'll sleep before the end. Every medical study I'm sharing today is listed in the description below. You can verify every single fact yourself, because as a doctor, I believe you deserve to know the truth about what your body is planning to do, whether the medical establishment wants to discuss it or not. Let's begin with biological transformation number 5. The first sign that your body has officially crossed into its final adaptation phase, and it starts right where your experience of life begins, with your tongue and your ability to taste the world around you. Transformation number 5 will surprise you because it seems so simple on the surface, but it's actually one of the most dangerous changes happening to American seniors. Your taste buds shrink, and food stops feeling like food. Here's something I want everyone to try right now. Think about your favorite childhood meal. Can you taste it in your memory? If that memory taste is stronger than what you actually taste now, comment memory below. Once you turn 80, your world doesn't just slow down. It literally starts to taste different. One of the first things that quietly changes is your sense of taste. And scientists now know this isn't just about food preferences or appetite. It's your biology completely rewriting how your brain interprets flavor. Here's the shocking part. By age 80, the average American has lost nearly 70% of their taste buds. According to groundbreaking research from the Monell Chemical Senses Center. But here's where it gets truly dangerous. And this is something that could be happening in your kitchen right now without you even realizing it. These are microscopic sensors, the ones that once let you savor your morning coffee from Starbucks, enjoy the sweetness of a Georgia peach, or taste the salt in fresh ocean air during a Florida vacation. These tiny taste buds begin to flatten and die off, and your body simply stops replacing them efficiently. If you've noticed that food doesn't taste as good as it used to, give this video a thumbs up so other people can find this information. Each taste bud normally lives only about 10 days before being replaced by a fresh one, like rotating security guards protecting your mouth. But as you age past 80, your body's replacement system breaks down. The result? Meals lose their magic. But here's where it gets truly serious. Taste buds don't just help you enjoy Thanksgiving dinner or your favorite ice cream. They protect you from danger. They detect spoiled food, bitter toxins, dangerous salt levels, or foods that could make you sick. When you lose that natural defense system, you unconsciously start adding more salt or sugar to get the same satisfaction you used to feel. That's exactly what happened to Margaret. She was adding nearly 3 times the recommended sodium to every meal, not because she wanted to harm herself, but because her taste buds couldn't detect the salt anymore. Hold on. This next statistic will shock you. A comprehensive 2021 Harvard Health Review found that older adults who lost more than half their taste sensitivity were 40% more likely to develop hypertension or diabetes within just 5 years. Not because of aging itself, but because they unconsciously compensated with dangerous amounts of flavoring. But taste bud loss is only part of the problem. Your saliva production also slows dramatically after 80, which further destroys your ability to taste food. Here's why this matters more than you might think. Saliva carries taste molecules from your food to your taste buds. Without enough saliva, even the most flavorful meal tastes flat, like chewing cardboard or eating cotton. That's why so many American seniors suddenly lose interest in food, claiming nothing tastes good anymore. It's not psychological. It's purely physiological. Your tongue, your facial nerves, and your salivary glands are all aging together, creating what scientists call gustatory fatigue. It's like having a symphony orchestra where all the instruments are slowly going out of tune at the same time. Dorothy was another patient who showed me just how devastating this can be. She was an 82-year-old retired chef from New Orleans who used to light up every room with her incredible Creole cooking. One day, she told me with tears in her eyes, "Doctor, I can't taste my own gumbo anymore. Everything tastes like nothing." She wasn't exaggerating or being dramatic. Her taste test revealed she could only distinguish between 2 of the 5 basic flavors. Sweet and bitter, salty, sour, and umami had completely disappeared from her world. To cope, she began over-salting every dish, not realizing that each extra teaspoon of sodium was pushing her blood pressure into the danger zone. Her joy of cooking, something that had defined her entire identity for 60 years, turned into quiet frustration and deep sadness. Every dish became a ghost of what it once was. What most American families don't realize is that your sense of smell, which accounts for about 80% of what we call flavor, also declines sharply after 70 and even faster after 80. Studies from the University of Pennsylvania show that nearly half of all adults over 80 have partial or total smell loss, known as presbyosmia. That's why food begins tasting bland and uninteresting, because you're not truly smelling it anymore. You're only getting that remaining 20% from your damaged taste buds. This smell and taste decline is far more dangerous than it sounds on the surface. Many older adults living alone can't detect gas leaks from their stove, smoke from electrical fires, or spoiled food in their refrigerator. They can't smell when milk has gone bad or when chicken has been left out too long. With reduced appetite from taste loss, they begin eating less overall, spiraling into malnutrition without even realizing it's happening. I treated one gentleman from Texas, Robert, age 83, who ended up in the emergency room with severe dehydration and malnutrition. His family couldn't understand how it happened. He lived independently, shopped for groceries, cooked his own meals. But when we investigated, we discovered he'd been eating the same bland sandwich every day for 3 months because nothing else tasted worth the effort. He'd lost 25 pounds without noticing, and his immune system was failing. So, if flavors are fading in your life or in the life of someone you love, don't ignore it or assume it's just part of getting older. It's not about missing out on enjoying a good meal. It's about missing the chemical signals your body depends on to stay alive and healthy. Your taste buds are early warning systems, and when they fail, you lose crucial protection against foodborne illness, nutritional deficiency, and chemical dangers in your environment. The good news is that understanding this transformation gives you power to fight back. Strong flavors like garlic, herbs, and spices can help compensate for lost taste sensitivity without adding dangerous sodium. Staying hydrated helps maintain saliva production. Regular dental care protects the taste buds you still have. And most importantly, family members need to watch for signs of appetite loss or weight loss in their aging loved ones, because by the time it's obvious, malnutrition may have already begun. Before I reveal the next transformation that affects every cut, bruise, and injury you'll have for the rest of your life, let me show you something happening to your skin that goes far deeper than wrinkles. Now, we move to biological transformation number 4, and this one goes even deeper than your tongue. It affects your body's most visible and vulnerable organ in ways that could impact your safety, your healing, and your overall survival. Transformation number 4 might seem cosmetic at first, but it's actually one of the most medically serious changes happening to your body after 80. Your skin forgets how to heal itself. By the time you turn 80, your skin isn't just wrinkled or spotted, it's literally forgetful. And that forgetfulness isn't about appearance. It's about biological function. Look at your hands right now. Pinch the skin on the back of your hand and release it. How quickly does it snap back? If it takes more than 3 seconds, comment slow below. Scientists now know that your skin, which is actually your body's largest organ, starts to forget how to repair itself properly. A small cut that would have healed in just a few days when you were 40 might now linger for weeks or even months. It's not just slower healing, it's confused healing. A landmark 2022 study published in Nature Aging discovered that after age 80, skin cells lose what researchers call their molecular memory. This means that when you get injured, even something as tiny as a paper cut or a scratch from gardening, your body actually struggles to remember the genetic instructions for rebuilding that tissue. Here's how healing is supposed to work in a healthy body. When you get injured, specialized cells called fibroblasts rush to the wound site like emergency responders. They follow a precise genetic map, almost like a construction blueprint, to rebuild damaged tissue layer by layer. They know exactly which proteins to produce, which growth factors to release, and how to coordinate with blood vessels and immune cells to patch things up perfectly. But in older adults, especially after 80, that genetic map starts fading like an old photograph. The cellular repair crews arrive at the wound site, but they wander around confused. They respond late, weakly, or sometimes not at all. That's why so many Americans over 80 complain that their wounds take forever to heal, or that mysterious bruises seem to appear from absolutely nowhere. It's not bad luck or clumsiness. It's a fundamental system breakdown at the cellular level. The problem gets worse because your skin also physically thins by nearly 20% after age 80. Think of young skin like a thick winter coat that can handle bumps and scrapes, but elderly skin becomes more like tissue paper. Those wounds that do occur go deeper, get infected faster, and have less healthy tissue around them to support the healing process. The healing slowdown doesn't stop with just the skin cells themselves. Your blood vessels, which are responsible for delivering oxygen and nutrients to wounded areas, also harden with age. That means less circulation, weaker immune response, and reduced production of collagen, the protein that holds your skin together, like scaffolding holding up a building. According to a comprehensive review in the Journal of Dermatological Science, collagen production drops by a devastating 75% between ages 25 and 80. By that point, even a mild bump against a kitchen counter can rupture fragile capillaries under the skin, causing those large purple bruises that seniors often develop called senile purpura. These aren't just cosmetic issues. They're signs that your skin's entire support system is failing. I'll never forget Marjorie, an 83-year-old woman from Ohio who came to see me with a tiny paper cut on her index finger. "Doctor, it's been here 3 weeks," she said, showing me a wound smaller than a dime. "I keep cleaning it with peroxide. I put antibiotic cream on it. I bandage it every day. But it just won't close." I ran comprehensive blood tests, checked for diabetes, tested for infection, examined her medication list. Everything came back normal. Her body wasn't broken by disease. It had simply forgotten how to finish the repair process. This forgetfulness has a scientific name: epigenetic drift. Think of your skin cells like students in a classroom that once followed perfect instructions from their teacher. With age, those instructions become harder to read, like a chalkboard that's been partially erased. The students start guessing at what they're supposed to do. Some repair too little, leaving wounds open and vulnerable. Others repair too much, forming thick scar tissue or raised bumps. The precise coordination that once made healing effortless is completely gone. This is also why older adults become incredibly vulnerable to skin tears, pressure ulcers, and serious infections from something as simple as scratching dry skin with their fingernails. Because your immune cells also weaken with age, bacteria get a significant head start in any wound, turning minor injuries into major medical emergencies. But here's what makes this transformation particularly dangerous for American seniors. Many people over 80 live alone, and they may not notice small wounds until they become infected. They might develop a tiny cut while cooking, gardening, or doing household tasks, ignore it because it seems insignificant, and weeks later find themselves dealing with cellulitis or sepsis. The psychological impact can be devastating too. Marjorie told me she'd stopped gardening, stopped cooking elaborate meals, stopped doing many activities she loved because she was terrified of getting hurt. The fear of slow healing had stolen her independence and joy. After I explained that her healing issues were normal biological changes, not personal failures, and taught her proper wound care techniques for aging skin, her confidence returned. There are ways to work with your changing skin rather than against it. Gentle moisturizing maintains skin barrier function. Proper nutrition with adequate protein gives your body the building blocks it needs for whatever healing it can still accomplish. Protective clothing prevents injuries in the first place. And most importantly, taking any wound seriously, no matter how small, and seeking medical attention early can prevent minor issues from becoming major complications. Your skin may be forgetting how to heal itself perfectly, but with the right knowledge and care, you can still protect this vital organ and maintain your quality of life. The key is understanding that these changes are happening and adjusting your expectations and habits accordingly. If you've noticed that cuts or bruises take longer to heal than they used to, give this video a like to help other seniors find this information. No, we reach biological transformation number 3. And I warned you earlier that this one would shock you. It's not happening to your skin or your taste buds. It's happening deep inside your brain. And it quietly determines how sharp your mind stays and how peacefully you sleep for the rest of your used for 80 years. The ones that helped you remember names instantly, recall phone numbers, or find the perfect word in conversation. Those pathways begin to show wear and tear, like old roads developing potholes. But rather than shutting down, your brain does something absolutely remarkable. It starts construction on entirely new neural networks. This process is called neuroplasticity, and for decades, scientists believed it only happened in young brains. We were completely wrong. A groundbreaking 2023 study from Johns Hopkins revealed that the aging brain actually increases certain types of neural rewiring after age 80, creating more connections between the left and right hemispheres. Your brain is essentially building bridges to compensate for the highways that aren't working as smoothly. The problem is this rewiring process can temporarily confuse your normal thinking patterns. It's like trying to navigate your hometown while major construction is happening on all the roads. Familiar streets. You know where you want to go. You can eventually get there. But sometimes you take unexpected detours or pause while your mental GPS recalculates the route. This is why so many sharp, intelligent people over 80 experience what doctors call mild cognitive fluctuation. You might find yourself pausing mid-sentence while searching for a word that you know perfectly well. You might walk into a room and forget why you went there. You might tell the same story twice in one conversation. These aren't signs of dementia or serious cognitive decline. They're signs that your brain is actively renovating itself. Frank was a retired engineer from Michigan, 81 years old, with one of the sharpest minds I've ever encountered. He could still calculate complex engineering problems in his head, discuss quantum physics, and beat anyone at chess. But Doctor, I'll be explaining something to my grandson, and suddenly the word just disappears from my brain. I know what I want to say. I can even picture the concept, but the word is just gone for 30 seconds. After extensive testing, Frank's brain showed no signs of Alzheimer's, stroke, or any degenerative disease. What the brain scans revealed was active neural rewiring. His brain was literally building new pathways around areas that had accumulated minor wear and tear over 8 decades of thinking. It was like watching a master electrician rewire a house while the family continues living in it. A 2021 report in JAMA Neurology revealed that nearly 1 in 3 adults over 80 experience these mild cognitive fluctuations due to what they called misouted neural activity. These are temporary moments of mental fog that come and go unpredictably. It's not permanent damage or progressive decline. It's temporary confusion caused by overloaded circuits while your brain installs. The most fascinating part is that this rewiring often leads to enhanced creativity and wisdom. Many people over 80 report having insights and ideas they never had before, making connections between concepts that previously seemed unrelated. Artists create their most profound work. Writers develop deeper wisdom, and problem solvers find innovative approaches they couldn't access in their younger years. Your brain at 80 is like a master craftsman who's learned to work with different tools. You might not have the lightning-fast reflexes of a 25-year-old brain, but you have something far more valuable: the ability to see patterns, make complex connections, and draw from 8 decades of accumulated knowledge in ways that younger minds simply cannot match. The key is understanding that when you pause to search for a word, when you momentarily forget what you walked into a room to get, when you tell the same story twice, you're not losing your mind. You're not developing dementia. Your brain is adapting to a new phase of operation, like a computer updating its operating system while you're still using it. Every new thought, every small mental challenge, every meaningful conversation helps light up those new neural pathways a little brighter. Reading, learning new skills, having complex discussions, even doing puzzles or playing games helps strengthen the rewiring process. Your 80-year-old brain wants to be challenged, stimulated, and engaged. It's still growing, still adapting, still learning. I tell my patients that these mental detours aren't roadblocks, they're scenic routes. Sometimes the new path your brain takes leads to insights and connections you never would have made using the old familiar highways. The wisdom that comes from an 80-year-old brain that's actively rewiring itself is something younger people spend decades trying to develop. So when you or someone you love experiences these temporary mental pauses, don't panic. Don't assume the worst. Understand that your brain is performing one of the most remarkable feats in all of biology, rebuilding itself while continuing to function, creating new possibilities while maintaining your essential self. If you want to learn the specific techniques to quietly start consuming themselves for survival. Sarcopenia isn't just muscle weakness or feeling less strong than you used to be. It's your body literally cannibalizing its own muscle tissue, breaking it down and converting it into energy to keep your vital organs functioning. It's one of the most dangerous, yet invisible processes of aging, and it affects more than 45% of Americans over 80. According to a comprehensive 2023 study in the Journal of Cachexia, Sarcopenia and Muscle, here's the brutal reality. Even if you stay active, eat well, and maintain a healthy lifestyle, you're still losing about 1% of muscle mass and 2 to 3% of strength every year after 80. This isn't about becoming less fit or needing to exercise more. This is about your body's fundamental balance between building and breaking down protein completely collapsing. Throughout your life, your body has been constantly breaking down old muscle fibers and rebuilding them with new, stronger ones. It's like renovating a house, one room at a time, while you continue living in it. But after 80, something goes terribly wrong with this process. You're still breaking down muscle tissue, but you're no longer rebuilding it fast enough to keep up. The construction crew keeps tearing down walls, but the reconstruction team doesn't show up for work. The reason this happens is quite simple. Hormones like testosterone, estrogen, and growth hormone plummet with age. And without these chemical messengers, your body doesn't get the signal to prioritize muscle building. Instead, your body begins to view your muscles as an emergency food supply. When energy runs low, it literally cannibalizes its own muscle tissue, breaking it down into amino acids that can be converted into glucose to feed your brain and keep your brain heart beating. This process releases the building blocks your body needs to maintain critical organ function, but it comes at a devastating cost. Shrinking arms, thinning legs, weakened posture, and a gradual loss of the physical power that has carried you through 8 decades of life. Over time, it's not just about losing muscle mass. It's about losing control over your own body. That's why people over 80 often tell me, "Doctor, I just don't feel steady anymore. I'm not tired. I'm not sick, but I just don't feel solid." They're not clumsy or accident-prone. They're chemically unbalanced. Their brain sends signals to muscles that are literally no longer there to respond. Henry was a patient I'll never forget. He was 83, a retired farmer from Kansas who had spent his entire life lifting hay bales, fixing equipment, and working with his hands. When I met him, his family was worried because he'd been falling more often and seemed unsteady on his feet. But when Henry described how he felt, it broke my heart. "Doctor, I'm not tired and I'm not weak. I'm hollow. It's like someone scooped out my insides." His blood tests revealed exactly what I suspected. His muscles hadn't just weakened, they had been metabolized. His body had literally started feeding on them for survival. It's like burning your own furniture to stay warm. I explained to him, "That's exactly what happens inside your body when sarcopenia takes hold. When your body runs short on readily available energy, it breaks down muscle protein and converts it into glucose for fuel." But here's the truly shocking part that most doctors don't explain to their patients. Sarcopenia doesn't only affect your strength and balance, it destroys your immune system, destabilizes your mood, and even damages your brain function. Your muscles act as reservoirs of amino acids, the building blocks that your body uses to produce immune cells and neurotransmitters. When your muscle mass wastes away, your body loses its backup supply of these crucial materials. That's why people with low muscle mass heal slower from illness, get sick more frequently, and often experience brain fog, depression, or anxiety. The connection between muscle health and overall longevity is now undeniable. A landmark study from the American Journal of Medicine found that seniors with sarcopenia are 5 times more likely to experience a serious fall or fracture. And those who lose more than 10% of their leg muscle mass double their mortality risk within just 3 years. Muscle loss isn't just about physical weakness. It's a predictor of how long you'll live and how well you'll live. But here's what gives me hope, and what I want every American over 75 to understand. Your muscles can fight back against this cannibalization process, even at 80 and beyond. Every step you take, every gentle stretch you do, every bite of high-quality protein you eat sends a powerful signal to your body. Don't shut down yet. I still need this strength. I'm still here and I'm still living. Resistance training, even something as simple as lifting light weights or using resistance bands, can actually reverse sarcopenia in older adults. Adequate protein intake, especially from sources like fish, eggs, and lean meats, gives your body the raw materials it needs to rebuild rather than just break down. Even basic movements like standing up from a chair without using your hands, walking upstairs, or doing wall push-ups can convince your body to prioritize muscle maintenance. I've seen 85-year-old patients regain strength they thought was gone forever. I've watched 80-year-old women go from needing assistance with grocery bags to carrying them independently again. Your muscles may begin to eat themselves with age, but they're also remarkably responsive to the signal that you still need them. The key is understanding that muscle loss after 80 isn't inevitable or irreversible. It's a biological process that can be slowed, stopped, and even reversed with the right approach. Every day that you choose to move, to challenge your muscles gently, to feed them properly, you're voting for strength over surrender. Before I reveal the final transformation that affects every single night for the rest of your life, I need to warn you that this one is perhaps the most haunting of all. Now we reach the final biological transformation. Number 1, and this one is perhaps the most haunting of all because it doesn't happen while you're awake and active. It happens while you're supposed to be resting and recovering. Quick sleep question. How many hours did you sleep last night? And what time did you wake up? Comment your sleep time below because this data helps everyone understand sleep patterns. Transformation number 1 affects something so fundamental to your health and survival that when it goes wrong, everything else in your body begins to fail. Your sleep clock flips upside down. When you cross 80, one of the most unsettling and least understood changes happens while you're supposed to be resting and restoring yourself. Your sleep clock, the biological rhythm that once kept your nights calm and your mornings bright, starts to flip itself completely upside down. Suddenly, you're wide awake at 3 a.m., staring at the ceiling, napping after breakfast because you can't keep your eyes open, and feeling exhausted long before the sun sets. It's not insomnia in the traditional sense, and it's not just poor sleep habits. It's your brain's internal master clock, called the circadian rhythm, losing its synchronization with the natural cycle of day and night. Researchers at Harvard Medical School discovered something alarming about what happens to your brain's timekeeping system after age 80. The brain's master clock, located in a cluster of about 20,000 neurons called the suprachiasmatic nucleus, sits right behind your eyes and controls when your body releases crucial hormones like melatonin and cortisol. These are the two chemicals that determine whether you feel sleepy or alert. And this tiny region of your brain uses light signals from your eyes to stay synchronized with the outside world. But as your eyes age and absorb less light, as these specialized neurons begin to weaken, those timing signals grow fuzzy and inconsistent. Your body still wants to sleep and wake up, but it no longer knows when it's supposed to happen. It's like having a broken clock in a room with no windows. You know time is passing, but you can't tell if it's morning or midnight. That's why so many older adults experience what scientists call advanced sleep phase syndrome. They start falling asleep too early in the evening, waking up in the middle of the night feeling fully rested, but unable to get back to sleep, and then drifting off during the day when they're supposed to be alert. This affects nearly 60% of Americans over 80, according to a comprehensive 2022 review in sleep medicine. And it's not a character flaw or lack of discipline. Your biology is literally rewiring itself, and the consequences extend far beyond just feeling tired at the wrong times. When your circadian rhythm flips, your entire body falls out of sync. Your body temperature fluctuates unpredictably throughout the day. Your hormone release becomes chaotic and mistimed. Your digestion gets confused about when to process food efficiently. Even your immune system loses track of when it should be most active. But groundbreaking study published in the Journal of Gerontology found that seniors with disrupted sleep rhythms had 3 times the risk of cardiovascular events and cognitive decline compared to those who maintained stable sleep patterns. Poor sleep at 80 isn't just about feeling tired the next day. It's about accelerating every other aging process in your body. What most families don't realize is that sleep disruption at 80 isn't just about feeling tired. It's about accelerating every other aging process in your body. And the window to restore healthy sleep patterns is narrower than you think. If you or someone you love struggles with sleep timing, share this video with them right now. Evelyn was 82 when her daughter brought her to see me because the family was concerned about her sleep schedule. She told me with frustration in her voice, "Doctor, I feel like my nights and days have completely swapped places. I wake up when the world is asleep, feeling completely alert and ready to start my day. But when I finally get tired, it's breakfast time, and everyone expects me to be awake. I feel like I'm living in a different time zone from the rest of the world." Her blood work was completely normal. Her heart was strong. She wasn't taking any medications that would disrupt sleep, but her circadian rhythm was essentially broken. Light exposure therapy and carefully timed melatonin supplementation helped reset her internal clock within just a few weeks. After the treatment, she told me with tears in her eyes, "It's like my body finally found its clock again. I can sleep when I'm supposed to sleep and be awake when I want to be awake." Sleep at 80 isn't just about rest and feeling refreshed the next day. It's literally about survival and brain health. During deep sleep, your brain performs one of its most critical functions. It cleans itself, washing away cellular waste and toxins through a sophisticated network called the glymphatic system. Think of it like a dishwasher for your brain that only runs when you're deeply asleep. When your sleep becomes shallow, fragmented, or mistimed, that essential cleansing process fails. Waste proteins like beta amyloid and tau begin accumulating in your brain tissue. These are the exact same proteins that researchers have linked to Alzheimer's disease, dementia, and cognitive decline. In other words, losing quality sleep means losing crucial protection for your mind. The tragedy is that many American families assume that sleep problems are just a normal, unavoidable part of aging. They accept that grandpa will be up all night and grandma will nap all day, never realizing that these changes can be addressed and often reversed with the right interventions. Exposure to bright morning sunlight helps retrain your brain's master clock. Oh, keeping evening lights dim signals your body that night is approaching. Maintaining consistent meal times gives your internal systems additional timing cues. Gentle daytime activity and avoiding late afternoon naps can help consolidate your sleep into the nighttime hours where it belongs. Melatonin supplements, when used correctly and under medical guidance, can help reset a confused circadian rhythm. Even simple changes like keeping the bedroom cool and dark, avoiding screens before bedtime, and establishing a consistent bedtime routine can make a dramatic difference in sleep quality and timing. So when you find yourself waking in the dark hours before dawn or nodding off in the afternoon sunlight, it's not a sign of laziness or mental weakness. It's your brain fighting to recalibrate its relationship with time itself. Because once you turn 80, even something as basic as sleep stops being automatic and becomes a complex negotiation between your body and the natural rhythm of life. But here's what I want every American over 75 to understand. These changes don't mean you're broken, defective, or failing. They mean you're alive and your body is still adapting. Understanding these 5 biological transformations gives you something that most American seniors never get from their doctors. The knowledge that these changes are normal, predictable, and often manageable. If you want me to create a detailed video about specific solutions for each of these transformations, comment solutions below. If we get 1,000 comments, I'll make that video next week. Science now shows us clearly that even at 80 and beyond, you can rebuild strength, restore mental focus, and reset your internal biological clock. You can't stop time from moving forward, but you can absolutely slow its grip on your health and vitality by staying curious about the world around you, eating nutritious foods that support your changing body, and moving daily in whatever way feels good and sustainable. Your body at 80 has wisdom and resilience that younger bodies simply don't possess. You're part of a generation that understands adaptation and survival in ways that others can't imagine. Which of these 5 biological transformations have you noticed most clearly in yourself or someone you love? Tell us in the comments below. My team and I read every single story personally. We read every single comment because we believe sharing your experiences helps all of us face aging with more wisdom and far less fear. If this information helped you understand what's really happening inside the aging body, give this video a thumbs up. It tells the platform to show this message to more families who need it. Share it with a friend, a parent, or anyone over 70 who deserves to know what their body is going through. Make sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell for more doctor-backed explanations of aging in simple, practical language that anyone can understand and apply. You can also download the full list of early warning signs and science-based solutions using the link in the description below. And if you'd like support, join our private Facebook community where thousands of seniors share their experiences, ask questions, and help each other navigate these changes with confidence. Because getting older is not the end of your story. It's not about decline. It's not about defeat. It's simply your body moving into a new chapter, one that can still be filled with strength, clarity, and incredible resilience. Now, I'd love to hear from you. What has your own aging journey taught you? What questions or insights do you want to share with our community? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We truly value your perspective. And if someone you care about needs to hear this message, share this video with them right now. Thank you for watching. Remember, every single day you wake up is another reminder of just how powerful and adaptable the human body truly is. I'll see you in the next video, where we dive into the solutions. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss it.